Welcome to another edition of the show. Contract talks between WWE and Damian Priest came down to the wire. Damian Priest is on top of the world right now, and WWE has ensured that he won't be going anywhere anytime soon after inking a new deal with the company. After establishing himself in Raw, Priest decided to join WWE, where he began his journey in NXT and eventually earned a spot on the main roster. However, it was in 2021 that his career truly skyrocketed. He had the opportunity to team up with Bad Bunny for a tag team match at WrestleMania 37. Before we continue, do not forget to like and subscribe, which garnered mainstream attention. Following this success, Priest found himself aligned with Edge in Judgment Day and later assumed the role of leader within a faction that includes stars such as former Women's World Champion Rhea Ripley, Finn Balor, McDonaugh, and Domnik Mysterio. During the themed PLE event, Priest won the Money in the Bank briefcase last year. He chose to cash it in at WrestleMania 40, right after Drew McIntyre went over Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. The night after, Priest revealed that he had signed a new WWE deal. Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select reported that the deal was signed a few months ago. The negotiations came to the wire as Priest's contract was up in February and was said to be just a few days away from expiring. WWE sources said they'd always planned on keeping Priest, as the two sides had talked plenty of times before ink was put to paper on the new multi-year deal. It was added that Priest had full control over his new theme song, which went over well within the company. The Undertaker is still hesitant continuing with his podcast, YouTube show, We'll See. I'm warming up to it a little bit too. Hall of Famer The Undertaker appeared on Busted Open Radio today. Taker has been busy with his 6 Feet Under podcast and One Dead Man shows. Taker said that he was reluctant to do the podcast and still feels that way because it's hard for him to talk about behind-the-scenes stories from his career. Taker said, "I wasn't sure I wanted to do it. I'm still not sure I want to do it. I'm kind of coming late to the podcast game. When you're doing everything in the WWE machine, everything is pretty simple. Now we're having to do everything on our own. I'm trying to find that passion now that the wrestling part is over for me. We'll see. I'm warming up to it a little bit." On why there's hesitation on doing the podcast, Taker said, "I still have a hard time talking about the business in an open forum. That's probably the biggest thing. I somewhat am competing with myself as far as the One Dead Man show. The biggest thing is probably my memory. People will ask me the most random questions about the most random matches in the world, like I'm supposed to remember who I worked with in Scranton, Pennsylvania in 1993. I'm like, yay, I got nothing for ya." Taker said that there's so much coverage of the X's and O's in wrestling.